You've all heard of the GOXLR, the streamer's go-to audio interface. But what if I told you there's a new kid on the block? I present to you the more affordable option for all your audio needs, coming in at only $99.99. Where the GOXLR is coming in at around $450. And the budget one having some rather interesting added features. So in today's video, we're going to be going over the new and improved Maono Podcaster AME2 and also the Maono PD200X USB and XLR microphone. And of course, you have to start with the packaging, because I love it when a package comes in and it's automatically pleasing to the eye. And well, these do just that. Obviously, if you can see the paint splatter, take that out of the equation. I painted the wall, they were underneath. I'm sorry. People aren't perfect, all right? But the boxes hold crisp detail. It shows you exactly what you're getting inside on top of the box, so you know what you picked up. You haven't just picked up a random box and hoped for the best, that it's the one that you wanted. There's also no fiddling around with little tabs and... Do you know what? You're not here for the box, are you? You're here for the main product. This is the Maono Podcaster AME2. I think it's the upgraded version because it doesn't look the same as the photos, but trust me, it's the E2. So my first impressions of this was very overwhelming. The fact that I've come from using a Blue Snowball Ice for as long as I remember, pretty much when they were released in 2012, coming to this audio face with an XLR mic threw me. There was so much going on. I didn't know what I was getting my hands on and what I was actually getting into. So that's why I'm here today, to give it a little review and a little overlook and tell you my experience using a piece of equipment I've never touched in my life and never owned until now. So before this video starts, I want to say a massive thank you to Maono for sending these two products out. I'm hugely grateful. Apologies on the delay of this video. It should have been out weeks ago, but I had a bit of an issue. It only took me to swallow my pride to ask their amazing customer service how to fix the problem, which we're going to get into later. But first off, let's talk about the build quality. Now, with it being a beautiful two-tone, you have this sort of metallic plastic at the top here with the soft matte black underneath and around. The only problem with having a shiny surface is dust, fingerprints and that sort of thing. And when you come to actually wipe this down, because you've got these preset to a certain level or whatever, when you brush it, you know, you're gonna move your levels. It's a bit annoying, but it definitely does give it that very premium look to it. And for it also being fully plastic, but a really reasonable price, this does not feel cheap. I picked it up expecting it to be hollow, to be empty, but this has some sort of weight in it. Obviously, giving it a knock on the back does make it seem like there's nothing inside, but it's got some weight on the back there. I feel like a lot of people go off of weight when it comes to a product. The more heavier it is, the more quality it should be, and the overall experience should be better because it weighs more. Not all the time, but when it comes to products like this, the heavier they are, the more you feel like you're actually getting from inside this small little unit. But what I do love about this build is the little accent colors they've got going on, the little orange, just sort of sparking away, nothing too in your face, nothing like the box where it's really bright and vibrant. It's a nice subtle warm tone. Now obviously if you are going for a certain theme in your setup, the orange might be out of the way, but it's that minimal, it's barely noticeable, and I think it does look good, I can't lie. And the best thing about this actually is the fact that it has 8 hours battery life. So once you turn it on, the colors of the digital display, turning the knobs and all of that, with a combo of these pudding styled keycaps, gives a very vibrant color scheme, and when you go through different presets, the different colors work super well, so you know what one you're on. It's just nice to have something that gives it a bit more vibrance and it's not so boring and dull. If these were all orange buttons, it would have ruined it. I like how they've got the different colors and the display at the top when you're turning the dials. And also with the animation of turning it on, it just gives it that sense of premium quality. Everything lights up to show you, okay, if this doesn't light up, there's an issue there, contact the customer service. It's just, I love the feature, I love it. Something so small and so simple, it makes you feel good about it. Onto the actual build quality itself, I'm gonna say for the price that you're paying for something like this, where, like I said, the GOXLR is so expensive, this comes in super cheap, and the quality of it, you can't go wrong. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. I just feel that's what it deserves for the actual build. It would have been a 10, but it's the fingerprints, the dust, that sort of thing. But other than that, nothing else wrong with it. Now onto functionality and ease of use. Is this easy for everyone to use? People that have never used one before, can they get their hands on it and be like, this I can work with. We're going to start off with the front panel here with the 2 headphone jacks. I love how they're on the front because I see a lot that have got them on the back. No one's cable is about 6 foot for their headphones, so it's not going to reach around the back, go all the way underneath the desk, or cable management. Or they've got them on top, sort of like an amp for a guitar and stuff. They have them plugged in on the top. It just looks messy on the desk. So to have it at the very front on the thinner bezel blends in super well when it's plugged in, and it can glide along the top of the desk under the mouse mat or whatever, or even unplug it at the end of the night so your PC and all that looks nice and tidy. But through the day when it's actually plugged in, you don't even notice. It's amazing, amazing. Now moving from the headphones onto the top face, we have quite a lot going on here. So pay attention because there's a lot to learn. And then when we move to the back, there's even more because that's where I had the issue. Starting from the top here, from left to right, we've got the aux, which controls obviously the audio in, going over to your low, mid and high for your microphone, to the instant gain, instant volume and monitoring. And then the last dial is your output for how loud you want this to project into the PC or laptop or phone, whatever it's plugged into. But in the middle of this top panel here is a feature that I'm not very keen on. It doesn't work too well. It's a funny little gimmick to have. It does work in game as well. If you're playing in game and you want to have a bit of a laugh with your friends, there is this, but I don't really use it. There is an auto tune button that allows you to use A, B minor, B, C, D minor, D, E minor, I think that is. There's a load, I don't really know all the chords and all the tones and all the notes, whatever, but auto-tune is on there. It doesn't really work to professional standards, but it does work to a certain degree. But I wouldn't use it if you're gonna try and become the next T-Pain or Ariana Grande, just know that. But anyway, moving on. You've got these 2 sliders here, they control both microphones. You can have 2 mics plugged into here at one time for podcasts or music, whatever you need 2 microphones for. If you're dual streaming with someone, 2 mics is eligible on this device. In the middle is my favorite bit. You've got A, B and C and a rewind or a loop button, and then 2, 4, 6, 8 underneath for the soundboard. That's what that is. A, B and C record up to a minute long footage of audio, whether it's coming from your microphone, your PC, so you can go and play a game, watch a video, have a funny moment or have a funny noise, and you can clip that noise, press the button and it will replay it. We will obviously go through all these later on in the next part where we test the sound of the microphone and all the buttons, but a little overview. If you press A and then the loop button, it will just constantly loop that same sound. And then underneath these 8 buttons here, record up to 20 seconds. I do have some presets already on there. We're gonna go into that later, so I don't wanna spoil it. A couple of memes in there, should I say. Moving on to the last part of the top panel here. You've got your pad, which is your soundboard. You turn that up, that obviously changes how loud the soundboard goes into your PC or your microphone, whatever it uses. Next is your pitch, does exactly what it says on the tin, changes the pitch of your voice in your microphone. And the last one is reverb, which needs to be used with reverb presets. If it's set to default, reverb will not work. You have to either have it on church, valley, room, karaoke. So that's obviously reverb presets on the first button there. Second up is the sidechain, which I think is pretty cool, where it dumbs down the music and makes your voice a lot clearer when streaming. Then you've got another button called music only. So if you're watching a video and someone's talking over the music, you can actually mute them talking. Or say if they're singing and you just want to hear the background beat, you can mute that person singing. Crazy how they do it. I don't know how they do it. It doesn't work on a lot of things with high bass because it's trying to pick up the treble over the bass, but if the bass is too high, it won't pick up the person actually singing, and it will sort of sound like it. You can just hear it in the background. It's like muffled them, but not completely got rid of their voice. If it's a very clear voice and the music isn't overpowering, that button, click it, their voice disappears. It's insane. I don't know how they do it. Next up we have dry wet. That just takes off the whole board, no effects, no soundboard, nothing. It will just be pure microphone input. So there's nothing on there like pitch, reverb and all that stuff, or your gains and your highs and lows. It's just whatever your voice sounds like will go into that mic and then be distributed into your PC. Then we've got loopback. That is to be able to record your audio from the PC. So if you do have this and you're figuring out how to use it and you're like, oh, I can't get it to record the sounds from my PC or anything like that, you need to have loopback turned on. And then after that is denoise, which is just your standard diffuser for stopping background noise. Sometimes it works well, sometimes it actually takes away your voice completely when it's on high, so you have medium and high and then off. Yeah, I've noticed on high sometimes if you don't talk loud enough it will just act like it never heard you. Be careful with that. And if you have suppression on, say, Discord, and you have that on as well, that will double down as denoise and you will not be able to speak. So just be careful on that one. Then obviously on the sides, it's just plain, there's nothing there. On the back or the base, there's just your serial number, pretty simple. Then we go to the back panel where the issue arose. A lot of people, I've looked online at this and they've had the same problem. So when you plug in your headset to the E2 and your microphone, whack that mic all the way up to get talking, you will hear your own voice. You'll hear the microphone relay your voice back into your headset. It's for monitoring, so you can hear if your pitch is right, if the tone's right, the reverb's right, all of this stuff. I couldn't figure out for the life of me how to stop it monitoring my voice when I was gaming, when I was live streaming, when I was making videos. I couldn't do it, and that's why this video took so long to get out, because I was struggling to actually record the video on the sound test, because when I did, it kept relaying my voice back through my headset, back into the microphone, and just so on. I even tried turning down the microphone, but then the video itself had no microphone audio because it was too quiet. It was only when I realized there was a button on here that I skipped completely, and it starts off right next to the on button. I should have known this. Instead, my arrogance said to me, no, don't read the instructions, don't reach out to the support team, just skip it. So I did, and ever since then I've been struggling until now. I swallowed my pride. I emailed the people and said, look, how do you fix this? And they said the button next to the on, yeah, that's your monitoring button. You click it once, that will stop you hearing yourself in your headset. And I was like, no one said this online. Everywhere I've looked, no one has said click the monitoring button to stop you hearing your own voice. And yeah, lo and behold, I clicked it, I was shocked. I thought it muted the microphone for everything, like PC, gaming, streaming, because it's got a microphone and then an ear next to it. Don't know how I didn't put two and two together, monitoring through your ears. I didn't even try click it, I just skipped it completely. But anyway, I don't want to talk about that button anymore, okay? Moving on to the back panel. So we're starting off with DC 5 volts. This is to charge the E2. I keep mine plugged in all times because it's on my desk. I'm not gonna ever take it anywhere to record audio for a studio or whatever. So it's just plugged in all the time. Some people may say that's bad for the battery. I don't really know how that works. I just like to know that it's actually on and working, and I don't record a video and have no audio, I leave it plugged in. Next to that is the USB-C port, which will go into your PC, your laptop, your phone to record audio from said application, and that's about it. Then next up you have two live outputs. This is to output reverb audio into a smartphone, an iPad, something like that if you want to record your microphone to the phone. Then up next is your monitor speaker. That's for if you have desk speakers, computer speakers, or headset. Again, you can put in the back. I don't recommend putting your headphones in the back of this. Put them in the front, it looks neater, it works well. Then you have aux in, which is obviously you plug in your phone and the music will play through here into your headset. So it's for streaming, things like that. If you want to use your phone for Spotify, plug it in here and it will play the music into this. And then that's how you can avoid copyright on Twitch. Then after that is your mic 2 input. Now with the mic 2 input is a 3.5mm jack, and it has to be for a condenser microphone, not a dynamic one unfortunately, but that is for your slot number 2. After that is your mic 1 settings. Jumping ahead, mic 1 is for your XLR, condenser or dynamic microphone, and depending on the decibels you have to change the setting for mic 1 settings. So you have your condenser microphone at 40 decibels and dynamic at 50 or 60 decibels. Now if it comes in the range of 67 decibels or so on, put it at 60 and it should work fine. If you have a dynamic microphone that needs the 48 voltage, that's where you click the 48 on top of the panel, and that will sort all that out for you. Then last but not least, on the back, obviously we've gone through the XLR, you don't need that. And the last port on the back here is the instrument input for basic guitars, electric guitars, and that sort of thing, because this can record music if you're in a studio. That overall is the functionality. We are gonna go into the sound test in a second, but for functionality, I'm gonna say I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Now, I don't know if you haven't realized, but this does not support USB microphones. And I used to have a USB-C microphone that I used on everything, and I expected to be able to use it straight away on here, but I had to reach out again and say, does it work with USB? Or do I need to get an XLR mic? Luckily, they were sending an XLR mic on the way. If you have a USB microphone, I wouldn't recommend picking one up because unless you're looking at getting a new microphone, it won't work for you. Even though they do sell dynamic microphones like the PD200X is a USB-C and XLR microphone, the USB part doesn't work in this. So that's a bit of a downfall for obviously a selling point. If they had USB connectivity for microphones as well, you'd have everything, but unfortunately you don't, so it's a 7 out of 10 for me on functionality because everything works really well apart from obviously your auto-tune. There's no USB-C port for microphones. But now it's time to plug it into the PC and get some audio testing done on said device. Plug in the USB-C, turn the thing on, and that's that in. Just to double check everything's gonna work fine. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. I need to get OBS open and ready to record the audio for this. I've got it all plugged in now, and I'm going to show you what I mean by the monitoring button. I'm going to turn the microphone all the way up. Now you can hear me through the headset, but if I press a button, the monitoring is now off and you cannot hear me. That was the issue I was having. So what you can hear me through at the moment is the X5 from Full Aim, the wireless microphone, and we're now going to switch over simultaneously to the PD200X connected to the Podcaster E2. And I don't know what the sound difference is going to sound like. Obviously I haven't edited the video yet. This is what an XLR microphone sounds like inside of this, and this is obviously the same company, so they are very compatible. Now what I'm going to show you, obviously with the high, mids and lows, we're not going to change any of that because it doesn't really affect it too much. With this microphone, it is a directional speaking microphone. I have to speak in front of it. I can't go to the sides because it won't pick up my voice, which I guess kind of works nicely anyway, because I can use it as like a, hey, how you doing? Welcome, welcome to my office. Sorry. So we're going to start off with the one thing I was telling you about, which is the auto tune. I'm going to click it and you should be able to hear it tell you what it's just chosen. Okay. So we're now on A major. Ooh. Then we're going to move over. B flat major. Ooh. I don't know what I don't know what it's going to sound like. C major. La 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 la. La la la. La la la. La la la. G flat major. I don't know. Anyway, we're going to turn that shit off. We'll go back to that. Okay, that was that. So now moving on to the function buttons underneath that, which are the soundboard. So when you do first get this, you will need to clear the buttons. And by doing that is simply just hold down the button and it'll start flashing. And then when you need to record, hit the button and it will slowly pulse until you are finished. Click it again. Once you've got the recording, click the button and it should give you this. Oh yes, oh yes. We've got a bit of air horn action, okay? So when we get kills in games, we can win the round and be like, oh yeah. That is how we do. Or you've got yourself a,
Can I get a oh yeah?
You gotta have it. You've gotta have it, right? Next up is Catch Me Outside, how about that?
Catch me outside, how about that?
Alright, that's what you need, a bit of sass. A bit of sass in your life. Next up.
Chickens.
So many chickens in CSGO that I kill. I had to add it. I had to. Then we have the when they're talking in Russian a lot of the time on CSGO, so I don't understand what they say. And sometimes they rage at me for rushing in B when they wanted to go A. So when they start going crazy at me, I just do this.
What did he say?
It works wonders because they have no idea what that meme is. And then this one I'm not too proud of. Okay, I'm not too proud of this one. I was testing out the pitch and found out that I could do an ooh-woo voice. Now, I'm not going to do it live, but I have got a button for it.
Can I get an LL?
I'm sorry. Don't unsubscribe. In fact, I mean, while we're at the point of the video, you might as well hit subscribe, hit the notification bell for all notifications, and like the video. Leave a comment as well about what you would have on your soundboard, because they're the only ones I've got. So, sorry. Leave a comment what you'd have on your soundboard, what sort of memes, what sort of noises I should add, and yeah, let's move on. So that's the soundboard, nothing really else to it, that's just how it is. Next up, you've got your pitch, obviously.
If I turn mine up, I sound loud like a squeaker, and then if
You turn it down, It's like, hey, how you doing? Welcome. My name's Callum. Anywho, back to
normal pitch. So that is the pitch, and nothing really more you can say about it. It is what it is. Then you have reverb. Now, like I said, you have to be in a certain reverb preset. So these are the presets. Karaoke, church, hall, valley, room, original. They're all of them. So we're going to change it to hall. Okay, so as you can hear, I sound like I'm in a hall. Anyway, you know, yeah, that's a reverb. That's what that does. Changing it just does different kinds of reverbs. You can mess around with that when you buy one from the link in the description. I'm not going to go through everything for the reverbs. You do that yourself. I don't want to spoil it for you. Okay, links in the description. With the other buttons, I don't really want to show you them because there's not much to show. I've got denoise on at the moment, so hopefully it's not picking up any sort of background noise from PC and all that sort of stuff. And then dry wet, I mean, I've got no presets on, so having dry wet on wouldn't actually change anything anyway, because I've got no, you know, all my lows, mids and highs are pretty much set to the default. Loop back, I haven't got it recording, so I don't need that on. So that's pretty much all it is. I just wanted to give you a sound test of the microphone as well, and this being part of a one package, would you say? Yeah, I just wanted to give you the full effect of what it sounds like using their microphone with the audio interface, and hopefully this has give you some sort of indication on whether you think it's worth it, whether you think it sounds better than what I'm talking on now, which is back to the full AME2 So then we're going to switch back onto the PD200X and then back over to the X5, so you can sort of get a comparison of what they sound like now back to the PD200X. So now you understand what they sound like and how it sort of compares to just a standard wireless microphone. Do you think it's worth it? Do you think this is something that you would go for if you're on a budget and you're looking at the XLR, you're looking at the GOXLR thinking, oh, it's a streamer's dream. Every streamer's got one. Exactly the point. Every streamer has one. Be a bit different. Save a lot of money. Get yourself a podcaster AME2. Can they do packages? So if you're looking for two microphones and this, they do a discounted deal. So head over to the link in the description. Go check them out. You might find something on there, even just a microphone or a boom arm. They do microphone stands, all that jazz. You might just see something that you really needed on the setup, and it doesn't have to be an audio interface. It's just lucky you found this video, because now you know of a company that do excellent products, amazing quality, have weird little gimmicks on there like the auto-tune at a reasonable price that you can actually afford. Unlike the $450 for a GoXLR. $400? No thank you. I'll stick to my $100, which in the UK actually comes down to like £87, so buzzing, can't go wrong. If I'm saying the name wrong, Mayono, I apologise, but I want to say thank you to the team and the sales reps and all of them guys that I've spoke to that sent this out and got me an amazing product and microphone that I'm super, super excited for, because like I said, I've never used an XLR mic. And to have one now actually feels like my setup's complete, because I've always dreamed of having an audio setup that just works. And now I have one. Couldn't be happier. Could not be happier. And I'm so humble and blessed the fact that I got it sent to me. That's even better. Again, if you want to hit subscribe, feel free to. You don't have to if you don't want to. We're only human. If you don't like the content, fair enough. Move on to the next. If you enjoyed the content and it gave you some sort of value or some sort of understanding of a cheaper brand that can bring better value for your money, please hit the like, hit subscribe. I'm trying to reach 100k, and that is the goal for my oncoming future until we hit that goal, and then on to the next. And thank you everyone for watching the video. I hope this has been somewhat insightful to telling you a bit about the Podcaster E2 and the microphone. But again, I'll catch you all in the next video. Bye.